What's going on YouTube? Welcome to another video. Joining me here for a back workout. And if you've been following the series or following me for longer, you generally knew my back days would usually start with a deadlift and then break myself down into different exercises to hit different parts of the lats and the back. But now that we've moved deadlifts to the leg day, I am essentially doing a back focus day with just a lot of focus on like emphasis on contractions, hitting all the different points, and really just finally taking, advantage of all that. Before I would just kind of throw them in on the leg day, but there's so many things you can do for your lats. There's different exercises I wanted to try, and having the precursor of doing legs before that is tiring. So it's kind of cool to be able to do it again. And I was trying to figure out the structure because I generally like to start every workout with some sort of power compound as a way to guide into the workout, generate force, get explosiveness, and some form of compound for that specific back group. And for deadlift, it was, it's obviously not 100% a back exercise, but with the stimulus of the significant amount of weight to fall back onto these, rows and stuff like that was a little bit different. And then with the injury, I'm trying to go slower, not as heavy with the Pendlay rows, just for that. I want to build myself back up. But bent over barbell rows, man, this is the first time I've done 225, or I take that back, 230. Nope, I did 225 and then I dropped back down because I felt that 225 was a little bit heavy. But I've been getting an incredible pump with the bent over barbell rows. And it's more of a stable thing. Like, I'm really starting to feel my body, like, really putting that core to stress when I'm just sitting in this position, remaining that hold and then rowing. It's just, I haven't felt that in a while. So usually when you do a back exercise, you're like chest and torso supported by something. But like just a straight free weight barbell row, like where you're moving the weight in a manner to get contraction, will like create some momentum, and it requires you to like balance that out, and you'll start hitting those stabilizer muscles that you don't normally hit. So like I said before with the pad, you can really drive both your chest and stomach into this and really brace to get another point of contact to do these T-bar rows. And I don't know, for better or for worse, I like to get full extension, like being able to stretch the lats and then, obviously contract. So like you'll see here in the lat pull down, you kind of retract your scapula, make clearance so that you can touch your, clavicle to the best of your ability. And then using the mag grip here. And I'll slow down and try to feel that stress when the reps and fatigue start to set in, to kind of pace myself and kind of go from there. And you'll see here on the pullovers, still trying to iron out all the details here, but you'll see me when I pull in, I'll do like a quick internal rotation of the shoulder, and that will kind of set my shoulders in a position and kind of lock the elbow in place so I can get the lat contraction. And it took me a while because I never used to feel these, but once I started making those changes, like really trying to be rigid and fold myself into position, I was really starting to feel them, and it feels incredible. And I've done pullovers on machines before, and I just don't get the same effect. There's something, like if you watch the angle, I'm very much about that, like, I don't know what angle that is. I need a protractor, go back to school or something. That angle, it's not a straight vertical, like a 45 or something from coming down from the cables. That's what gets that contraction, and it's freaking awesome. So I found that works almost everything when I'm doing the lat pull downs that you saw previous, pulling at the same angle, and then that's the ideal way for me to hit my lats. So it's nice to figure that out. Close grip benching here. Man, I really like that nice unrack. It was very stable. Usually, sometimes when I unrack, I'll like hit the safety spots. My grip is uneven. I can't figure out where my legs want to go. So nice and clean. Closer grip. I swear, close grip on everything, close stance on everything is more stable for me. I don't know why that's the case. It just is. I guess there's less deviation for movement. So I honestly feel more stable when I'm close grip benching. Obviously, the fatigue sets in and the weight gets heavier because longer range of motion and less, the movement that you're doing is condensed in a smaller system, and you feel that stress a little bit more, if that makes sense. So like when I'm benching wide grip, it's the recruitment of the pecs more so, but you've got a shorter range of motion, and then you've got more surface area to kind of distribute that weight on. When you're doing close grip, you don't have the full use. I can't get as tight as I can with my lats as I can if I go wide grip, and I think that really makes a difference. Obviously, bigger muscle group, more power, explosiveness off the whole. So stuff like that. But I do like training the close grip because if you can get strong in this movement, it will definitely carry over to the wider stuff. And, they work in tandem. Like most exercises, I do work in some way, shape, or form to assist others. You may experiment here or there to kind of change things, but ultimately you are trying to get stronger in different aspects and challenging the different muscle groups in different planes in order to kind of bring all that up together and get stronger overall. Same thing with overhead press. Yeah, and I started wearing the belt and then balance and stuff too. It was just getting very difficult, and I was really starting to feel the stress of building these back up. And not the prettiest, and past me, the pre-injured me, would be laughing at what I'm doing right now. But it's progress, and it's what I need to do. And I'm going to stick with it and just be consistent, take my time. And a little bit of a spoiler alert, it's been working pretty well for me. So we'll get back to where we were heading and just try to do my best to stay healthy and keep making progress. But you'll see here, this is that arch I was kind of talking about when I press. Create that platform, drive through, and get that weight over you. Nothing is ever a straight up and down movement. You're contorting your body in a way to emulate that bar path. Even on the dumbbell bench here, like you're rigid obviously in your core, chest, and back, but you are arched to a degree to drive into the bench, use those legs to drive that weight forward, and then having the point of contact with your shoulders to keep your chest exposed and up so that you get full contraction, full range of motion. So you'll see here I'll kind of drive into the bench, and that's always been the key. I think a lot of people will just lie flat on a bench, have no rigidity to the core, no rigidity in the torso, and not know what leg drive is. So they're doing like a really weak Larson press, really. Like once you get the whole body into the movement, you feel it's like a night and day difference. Even on the cable flies, I'm still keeping my feet planted and driving through my feet to kind of hold me in place. And then I'm focusing on the active contraction with the chest and pecs. So once you start thinking like that and breaking things down in that way, there's a lot of carryover to a lot of the movements you do. And it can lead to a lot of different progress and a lot more muscle activation than you'd get by just aimlessly doing certain movements. So if you haven't tried it, try to get really good at being technical at your compounds and then carry over those compounds to your isolation. Just try to have those same ideas in mind and go from there. And I think you'll be in a pretty darn good spot. But you got to figure out kind of what those cues are for you. And your body will let you know like what feels good, what doesn't. So I used to love skull crushers. I used to do them with a barbell, and it was not fun. So trying to set up a bench with a lot of these cables at different heights and elevations is confusing. So we have this low row, and one day I just decided to mess around, see what I could do, and it ended up being really good for skull crushers. So you kind of have to contort yourself and put yourself into position, but it allows you to do the movement that you want to do. And different angle here. I do them slow though, just because of that ball moving, just to make sure I'm getting the contraction I want. But does a really darn good job, and it's a nice alternative from the traditional like push down or like overhead extension. You can kind of put yourself here, get a similar contraction workout, and then you've got all those weight plates that you can work up to and challenge yourself. So just another tool in the toolbox. Become well-rounded, utilize them to get to where you want to be, make progress and make gains. But that's it. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. See you in the next one. Thanks for watching the latest video. If you want to help support the channel, I actually own my own wet shaving and grooming e-commerce website where everything's handmade by me.
It's www.apexsoaps.com, and you can get a 10% off code using Wet Shaver. We've got some cool scents here. We've got some Coca-Cola scents, a horchata scent, traditional barbershop, just some really cool stuff. And you can purchase samples or you can buy the whole set. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out via email. Be quick to respond. Thanks for watching.